gentlemen, you're listening to
Detroit Reunion Weekend. WNIC. CKLW yesterday.
5 o'clock in Detroit. It's probably noon in Windsor.
4 o'clock in Detroit. That's daylight time. All right.
It's daylight time. Back to see if we can get it on for the folks here one more time. Big Jim Edwards here at 9 minutes after 5 o'clock. WNIC Reunion Weekend. Pat Holliday here.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm around friends. Nice to be here. Ann Carlini is taking care of the technical end of things. Ann, nice to have you here. Byron McGregor, JoJo. Old friends back once again. Boy, Pat, I want to thank you folks at WNIC and Ann for doing this. This is just terrific. We're having a great time.
Can you hear that now?
Yeah, really.
That's right. What do you call that?
Very good technically.
That's my mic technique.
Well, that's
the
right.
infamous Ann Carlini mic technique.
I have
like
one
someone-
over here with one of the springs that goes.
I
think that's a B flat, isn't it?
sound like Shamu talking at a SeaWorld, you know? Somebody's talking.
I was like this, Pat. Ooh, I think that's a B flat.
Circle figure.
For the next couple of hours until 10 o'clock tonight, WNIC is recreating some of the old times and the good times. And Pat and I go back to the beginning of time together, back at the early days of the Big Eight.
Yeah.
And
Early.
and Byron McGregor and I started within 2 weeks of each other back November 1967.
Both kids.
That's right.
You were a kid, Byron, too. Yeah.
And I'm just waiting because I know Byron sooner or later will leave the room, and then we can do imitations of Byron. So,
We're tired of hearing about it.
I'll never. You were earlier when Peter Carey was doing Byron yesterday, and he right at the end of the story, and Byron walked in, and Byron's standing right behind him, and the look on Peter's face when everybody started laughing, and Peter looked up to see Byron was priceless. It was like nothing you could ever recreate. It was like, how is he going to take this? Is he going to kill me or is he going to laugh? You know? That was the look on both. It was great.
airport weather clear, operations normal. It's 56 degrees. Well, let's play a couple of tunes, Ed, and we'll come back and have a lot more fun here on the WNIC Reunion Weekend. Big Jim Edwards with Joe Cocker doing the letter. WNIC, rotating rocker, Joe Cocker on the Detroit Reunion Weekend. Oh boy, if Paul Drew could only hear me now. One more mistake and it's the all-night show. I want to thank our old boss at CKLW who had the infinite wisdom and faith and brought me into town from a very small station in Toledo, Ohio, which is where I was working when I auditioned for the Big Eight. A tiny little station that had 12 towers, 6 towers that faced Michigan and 6 towers that faced Ohio, and we'd turn some of them on during the daytime and some of them on in the nighttime. And unfortunately, none of them faced Toledo.
Yes, but Jim, you've got to remember, I could get a monkey to do your job.
You'll have to be careful. He's probably listening. I've never done a show in this town. He wasn't listening. Come on.
A hard man.
I did bring along a little jingle, though, from back at WTTO in Toledo, Ohio. And this was on the audition tape that I sent to CKLW when I got my job. So I want to just roll this if we can here, Ann, and we'll remember a little bit of Toledo, Ohio.
Go, go, James K. Davis. With WTTO. Go, go.
After hearing that, I wonder how in the world I was hired. Well, I don't know where your head was at. Let me in. That's Derek on the WNIC, bringing it all back home to you on the Detroit Reunion Weekend. Now coming up on about 18 after 5 o'clock. Big Jim Edwards here. Nice to be with you. I was in Detroit from 1967 into 1970, so I've been gone quite a few years. As a matter of fact, about 15 years. Aside from a very brief stay at WXYZ. I think it was about 3 or 4 days. I'm not. Anyway, it's nice to be back. And I've worked for quite a number of stations since I left Detroit. Exxon, Sunoco, Texaco, just to mention a few. That's not right. Of course, I've had a lot of offers to come back to Detroit. General Motors wanted to know if I would be interested in coming back as a test airbag. This is the Detroit Reunion Weekend here on WNIC. Evil Ways, some of the music you listened for then.
You got to change your
listening to Jim Edwards on WNIC's Detroit Reunion Weekend.
After all these shows, this weekend I've learned the truth about my fellow partners in crime, especially about the Holiday Inn in Windsor. I like those stories. To listen to all of these guys talk all this weekend, I think you would think that this was one continuous nonstop party. Of course, just for the record, I was never at the Windsor Holiday Inn. Never, really. I'm not kidding. I see Reunion Weekend and going up the country. Big Jim Edwards here. 24 minutes after 5 o'clock. Boy, it's fun to be back. These reunion weekends are especially fun because you get to see people that you haven't seen in a long time. And the rest is truly history. But sitting with me is Arthur R. Volo Jr., oftentimes known to his close friends and some of those who aren't as radio's best friend.
Thank you, James K. Davis.
Art publishes a publication called The Radio Guide. It's distributed nationally around the country, and you've probably seen it. It's a listing of all the stations you can drive along the interstates around the country. And Art has just been an incredible asset to the radio industry, and you probably know more about the history of Detroit radio than any 10 people I could ask to be here this afternoon.
It's good to see you.
Oh, it's
Jim.
wonderful to
God.
see you, and I'm just delighted that you are part of this weekend.
Oh, I'm glad. We're capturing a lot of this on videotape, and I'm sure we'll all sit back and watch it.
Yeah, we
many,
sure
many
will.
years.
Let's spin a couple of tunes and we'll talk some more. What do you say? The WNIC Reunion Weekend. Big Jim Edwards, it's 5:30 on this Sunday evening, and here come the swinging doors. Come on and touch 20 years later to see if we could do a little of that music to do some good woodwarding, too. The top-down sound of the Motor City. Thanks, Steve.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Jim Edwards on the Detroit Reunion Weekend on WNIC, WNIC-FM, Dearborn.
Long before the days of the Tape Shack, one of the true Detroit legends. Tonight, 7 p.m. afternoon on WNIC, followed by member Gary Mitchell, Dave Schaefer, Mike Rivers, and Billy Mack. And it's great to see a lot of those faces and voices on this reunion weekend. 6 minutes after 6 o'clock, we have been having the pleasure of staying at the beautiful Dearborn Hyatt Regency, and as you know, it's graduation time. And for many of you, graduation is a few years behind you, like it is for me. But it's great to see all of this year's grads attending their proms, and many of you have kids who'll be graduating this year, and it's awfully a good time to remind you about the project that WNIC and MAD, where they're gathering together for. It's their challenge to you to help you do your part to instill in our kids the dangers of drinking and driving, and we hope that you'll help them out.
Detroit Reunion Weekend. WNIC. I see the band move right.
Yes, I've heard of Ted's.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's see. What else can we talk about? Yeah, and peace. And I used to go every day through that Detroit tunnel on the Harley with the hair and the leather jacket and everything, and go through customs, which was a lot of fun. I confiscate your car in the name of the Queen. Oh, boy. But that was a lot of fun. We kind of, I used to make up for time. I could never speed down the John Lodge because there were too many men in blues. But I could always make up time in the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel. 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, we're reminiscing here. Thanks, Ann, on the WNIC Reunion Weekend. Here are the Winstons and Color Him Father. In tribute to that great radio station we all knew and loved, a little bit later on in our show, we'll be giving away our door prize of 1,000 Lawrence Welk records and a hammer. And now, the music of somebody else's life. This is one of the funnest things that I've ever been a part of, and I want to thank everybody for being along with us on this issue number 13. Is that right, Art? This is number 12 of the famous video air checks. It's been a lot of fun to be with you. I hope you really enjoyed the Detroit reunion. See you again soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the beat goes on.
CKLW, the Motor City.